our nation. They didn't harm our nation. Not one vote was affected or tampered with, and not one election's outcome was made any different by Rosenstein's own words. What damage? That's anything above and beyond what the Russians are always trying. But I want to focus on something else here. I was disappointed when he had the opportunity to defend our intelligence agencies who work for him. I was very disappointed and saddened with the equivalency he gave between them and what Putin was saying. Okay. Well, we've been there before. We've had a president who spoke up and defended the people out to get him. That was George W. Bush. And how did that work out for all of us? Would somebody explain to me, a year and a half or 2 years, every day and sometimes many times a day, New York Times, Washington Post, CNN, MSNBC, story after story after story, countless, sometimes 4 anonymous sources per story, sometimes only 1, from the intelligence community, present and former government officials, and every one of them accusing Donald Trump of colluding with Putin to steal the election. And they're working for him? Would somebody explain to me how this works? When for a year and a half or longer, the very intelligence community that's been trying to undermine Trump and first keep him from winning, then sabotage his transition, and then undermine his presidency. Could somebody explain how it works that those people are working for him? And that he is supposed to defend. Now, I understand on the world stage we're all one and we come together when in the face of our enemy. I understand that. Well, we've had a bunch of presidents that have tried that. We've had presidents that have refused to acknowledge their own domestic enemies and have instead built them up and sided with them. I can't do that. Look at what the Democrats tried to do to the U.S. military in Bush's second term, the war in Iraq and the war on terror, what they did to David Petraeus. Nobody called them out, and we're supposed to be unified with those people, right? We're not supposed to call them out. I don't understand the logic that Trump is supposed to, while Putin, we don't know what he did behind the scenes. We don't know what he did in the closed-door meeting yet. But for Corker to sit here and say, when he had the opportunity to defend our intelligence agencies who work for him, oh, they may now, but all I know is, because I consume the news, is that for 2 years, a year and a half, it was all these blind, anonymous sources from the intelligence, and not just here. We've had to deal with intelligence sources in MI6. We've had to deal with intelligence sources at work in academia, at Harvard and Yale, at Oxford and Cambridge in the UK. And we've had to deal with all of these people doing whatever they could to undermine Trump during the campaign, during the transition, during the presidency. As I say, we have had a president, a series of them, who have gone overboard defending the people trying to destroy them in the name of national unity or whatever. But what did it get them? 20% approval numbers, a effectively very damaged presidency. Can somebody tell me on a human basis in what sense is Trump supposed to think that the intelligence community is working for him when he wakes up every day and there's a tweet from John Brennan accusing him of treason, as there is today? John Brennan, Obama's CIA director, has treated that Trump has committed high crimes and misdemeanors in this press conference today, and the Republicans need to become patriots and stand up and impeach the guy and throw him out of office because of what he did today. That's a former CIA director. That's working for... Why is the former intelligence community... Why are former members of the intelligence community still working to undermine Donald Trump, and why is he supposed to speak up for him? Well, Rush, I can answer that for you. It's supposed to be bigger than that. On the stage with our #1 world enemy, we are all unified. We should all come together and stand against Vladimir Putin. Right? Okay. Understand the sentiment. Believe me, folks, I do. But then I just look at the news headlines the second or two after that. Trump praises intelligence community, sings the praises of intelligence community, and tells Putin to go to hell, thereby giving credibility to the intelligence community trying to destroy it. What the hell here? Okay, so we've got a new kind of president that doesn't play by these inside the Beltway establishment or deep state rules. But I guess the rule is that if you're a Republican or if you are a shock surprise winner, part of the game is that you're just supposed to sit there and let the establishment destroy you. That's the rule. It's kind of like, remember the story we had not long ago, maybe a month or two now, that during the campaign, a bunch of foreign policy experts at various think tanks, they all signed a letter opposing Trump. Trump's a disaster. Trump should never be president. Trump's an SOB. Trump's a bastard. Trump's this, Trump's that. Okay, sign the letter, Trump wins. Trump doesn't hire any of them. A year goes by, and they start whining and moaning that they can't get jobs in the administration because Trump won't hire them. Well, yeah, you kind of said that he was a sack of manure. Why should he hire? Well, you're supposed to ignore that stuff after the campaign's over. That's just for the campaign. You ignore it. When he wins, all bets are off. He should come talk to you. Is that how it works? Ignore people trying to destroy you. You beat them back, and then you're supposed to welcome them into your tent. Because the rule is, well, that was just a campaign. What do you expect us to say? We were following our instincts. We thought Trump would be in, but now he's won, and we want to help. And we want to help advise him on foreign policy because we're experts. You're experts. You're such experts you couldn't even figure out who was going to win. You're such experts that you see much of your foreign policy being enacted and you still oppose it because of the guy doing it. He's supposed to welcome you into the tent? Try this in your personal lives. Deal with the people trying to destroy you this way. Well, but Rush, when he's up there on the stage with Putin, and Putin's our world enemy, then that's when we do have to come together. I can see where people would say it's disgusting. Well, fine. But I'll tell you what, I see a lot of disgusting stuff long before this happened today, or whatever it was that people were. There's no pushback, no defending it. And the intelligence community comments, by the way, I do remember. He said, well, you know, we got some really good intel people, but Putin says he didn't do it. I can imagine that sending them into orbit. Well, it wasn't just that they were saying that Putin colluded. They've been saying that Trump helped Putin. There was a story last week from Jonathan Chait, one of the New York magazines, that Trump has actually been a Russian spy since 1987. Anyway, I got to take a break. I'm going to come back. We're going to get some more phone calls, and I need